The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba, shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as a cloud, and as the doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despised thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings. And thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kapadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutations to hopefully got the pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopefully the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua. And what I want to get into this morning, dealing with, companion the thieves, okay? And this comes from a scripture, all right, in the book of Isaiah, the first chapter, We'll start it there. Then I have a video, to show how, the black church, was basically set up, to keep Jake plugged into a system, all right, that does nothing for them. Okay. So I'm gonna start off with that real quick. Computer going a little slow this morning. Bear with me. But let's share the screen real quick. Put the blue letter up. And we'll start off with that. And I said we'll go into the video. So when you go to the book of Isaiah, because one thing about it, when you understand the history of Israel, we was always plagued, with the horrible leadership. If a brother could post that in um First Maccabees chapter 1. First Maccabees 1. Yeah, let's get First Maccabees chapter 1, verses 11 through 15. Because our people, when you understand, the history of Israel, you understand that bad, horrible leadership, was always a plague, to us as a nation, and will cause us to be punished. You know, horrible leadership. You had kings, the northern and southern. All right, that will go after idolatry and cause Israel to go into idolatry. You know, you had different kings that would, make alliances with these different heathens. Even going back to Egypt, Assyria, okay, and cause our people to serve their gods. You see, they had time of Maccabees, okay. This is your brother posted it. Yep, you got during time of Maccabees, you had wicked men, all right, amongst our people that did what, man? Influence, our people to go after the Greekish fashion, as the scriptures say. Okay, and you have the same thing today. There's nothing new under the sun. Now, this is brother Yashima tribe of Judas, First Maccabees 1:11 says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed, okay, from them, all right, we have had much sorrow. All right. And our people would always, you have leaders amongst our people that will seek, okay, to appease whatever heathen nation was in power, okay, to make their lives easier, to get more favor, all right, from the heathens that were in power. Okay. Verse 12, it says, so this device pleased them well. Okay. Verse 13, then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. And right now, the main license is what? That 501c3. Okay, which all these churches, even some Israelite groups, have that license. Okay, from the heathen, man. All right. Now, reading 14, it said, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen, okay, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief, man. Okay. And you look at today, all right, our people are uncircumcised in their minds. Okay. how people are uncircumcised in their minds, and it's due to these establishments, okay, they have linked up with the heathen, which the black church is heavily linked up, okay, with this Edomite society. All right. And what does it cause? It causes our people to mischief. You got black Christians, they spend the most time and energy coming against the camps. You know, 10 question Hebrews can't answer. Niggas all, 20 niggas on the screen trying to figure out what we gonna do about the camps. Okay, that's mischief. You coming up against your own sovereignty, man. No other nation of people on earth it comes against their own sovereignty, man. Okay, as of Jake. And plantation Christianity has made our people has turned, our people into the biggest anti-messiahs there is, man. Now, let's get this in Isaiah. Matter of fact, before I get that, since I mentioned uncircumcised, let's get this in Jeremiah. Okay, I believe this is Jeremiah 9. Because these are times that we coming into now. See, judgment finna go forth. Okay, and either you're being led, all right, to salvation, or you're being led to a punishment, man. Okay, because as Yahweh Shema Shai has set up, these false pastors, these different religions to lead people astray. He also has set up, you know, righteous leaders. Okay, beginning with the apostles and elders GMS, man. Now, when you read Jeremiah 9:25, say, "Behold, the days come," said the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, "that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised." Okay, so there's Israel and all the other nations. It says Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in their heart, okay, which is their mind, okay, which means what? They haven't peeled back the filth, okay, of this society, man, okay, the doctrines of this society that have polluted the minds of our people, man, which makes them what? Uncircumcised in the heart and the mind. Okay. Now let's get this in Isaiah 1. And it all goes back. It all begins with the leadership. Okay. Because as a leader, you develop the people, that you're leading, okay, in a certain fashion. All right. If you're a leader, someone is looking to you for guidance where they move according to how you move. Okay. They think according to how you teach. Okay. So you have men set up that's leading, okay, to salvation, and you have men and women set up leading to death, man. Okay. Now this is Isaiah 1 and 21. It says, "How is the faithful city becoming harlot? It was full of judgment. Righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers, man, because they're giving you doctrines of death, man. Trusting in Esau is going to lead to death, man. Horrible death, man. Trusting in any other way outside of the gospel of Yahweh Shai, you're setting Israel up to get murdered, man. Okay? It says, "Thy silver has become dross, thy wine mixed with water." Yeah, that wine, that doctrine mixed with water, which means what's watered down, man. Okay? The Christian church is the most watered down version of the Bible, man, on earth. Okay? Verse 23 says, "Thy princes are rebellious." Okay, and princes goes to rulers and companions of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth they know, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. And the fatherless and the widow will be two people that were very vulnerable, man. Okay, the fatherless and the widow, because they lost their hedge, their protection, their provider of the husband, all right, father. Okay. So they will be vulnerable. They will have to depend on the mercy of the nation, okay, to care and provide for them, man. You see, they will have to depend on the leadership of the nation to do right by them because they lost, they provide and they protect them. And it's likened unto Israel today, a very vulnerable nation. Okay. But the leaders have become companions of thieves. So their vulnerable nation is being, is left to be destroyed, man. Okay. I want to get this word companion and see what it goes into. And who are the thieves? Esau, Edom, man. Companion of thieves. Everyone loving gifts, man. Because you go into how some of these pastors living. Okay. Now you get the word in the Hebrew. All right. It's habar. All right. And what it goes into united, associate, fellow, okay, worships, companion, all right, knit together, okay, because the black church is nothing but an extension of this whole new world order, all right, agenda that Esau Edom has been conditioning the masses, for decades, man. Okay, now let's go from there. I want to get this video. Let me cue it up and just show you, okay, what what Jake wants you to be linked up to, man. And this is what Vocal wants. Vocal wants us to be democratic Americans, okay, niggas, man. Okay, that's constantly begging and crying to the oppressor for some type of mercy, some type of relief. That's what Vocal wants, man. That's the mindset he wants to force down your throat. Okay. What is over with, man. Um, let me cue this up so I
I need a new wireless plan for my business, but all of my employees need something different.
Okay, imagine this. Your move needs a plan with a mobile hotspot. Your sales rep has to send some price.
So basically, I can pick the right plan for each employee.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna let it load a little bit. So it should play on through. All right, but this is a video from I want to say it's NBC. All right, the Black Church and the Democratic Party. And people don't understand what they're linking themselves to. But Jake can't say if a brother can put Mark 4:22. Jake can't say that they didn't know. All right, because Jake like to play ignorant, so they won't be responsible for their actions. It's a game Jake love to play. Okay, they like to play that they're ignorant, they're slow roll, so they won't be responsible for their actions. But see, Jake is linked up to this whole Democratic Party, man. You're linked to Satanists, man. Okay, they're all Satanists, Republican, Democratic. Okay, but this Democratic Party is the freaky deaky, all right, of them all, man. And it's been on display. Okay, You know, the man nickname is Creepy Joe. That's his nickname. You know, the media is Creepy Joe, man. Freaky Deacon himself and Jake is still, all right, in cahoots with this party, all right, the Black Christian Church, and they try to make it to be some righteous, for the people movement. But nah, man. Okay, this is the biggest anti-Messiah, all right, movement that the earth has ever seen, and the Democratic Party plays a major part in it, man. Okay, and getting you Jakes farther and farther away from the righteousness of the scriptures, man. And you're gonna hear this madness of these old washed up, pastors, man.
You must have a moral fusion approach. You never just allow your position.
So I'm gonna load up. All right, this is the brother Yashima tribe of Judah. This is Mark 4:22. It said, "For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad." And you have all these videos going into what these people are really about. Even if you don't listen to the prophets, okay, you don't listen to the brothers' videos. Well, there are so many videos that go into what these people are about. They show you about the symbolism. They show you about, all these rituals and all these different things that are coming out against, all right, this government. And Jake is still lining up the vote, man. Okay, and Christians are at the forefront. All right, Christians are at the forefront of this whole voting. They have whole, rallies and make speeches about voting. Okay, but what about what these people are about? You see, there's another one, Yashima tribe of Judah, John 15:22 said, "If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned, but now they have no cloak for their sin." Yeah, because the prophets are going into the Bible and speaking against this whole society, this whole system, man. Okay, condemning this whole system according to the word. That's what the Bible is for. Okay, if a brother can post that real quick, second Timothy 3:16. All right. They're trying to let it load so it play smooth. I say you're running slow this morning, you know. But the Bible is supposed to be used for correction, man. Okay, and this is an anti-Messiah kingdom, and the Christian church is within it. Vote the Black Christian church. Okay, because there's nobody more in sync with the government than the Black Christian church, man. That's the worst place to be in these times, man. If you're still calling yourself a Black Christian in 2022, all right, prophecy is finna overwhelm you, man. Okay, because you're nowhere near, you're not being prepped at all for what's to come. Okay, you're moving in a whole nother realm that doesn't matter, So like, so let me let it play. Yep, just a brother occupied till I come. The Second Timothy 3:16 says all scripture is given by inspiration, all right, of Yahweh by Shem Al Shai, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, man. And we don't get that from the Black Christian church, man. Okay, we do not get, all right, doctrine, sound doctrine. Okay, there's no reproof going forward for all right, the behavior of our people, no correction going forth about what's going on in the earth, no correction about how our people should be, what we should be into. Christianity, they the biggest, they the biggest organization that celebrate Christmas. Okay, the worship of Satan, Easter, the worship of Ashtoreth, okay, Sunday worship of the sun god. All right, these different sun gods, man. Okay, what is Amun Ra? Okay, or the Roman sun god. Okay, this is not going on in the Black Christian church. All right, and we're going to see what they're into. All right, so it should be good. Now let me blow it up.
Hello there, I'm Chuck Todd, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Press Reports. This is where we take a deep dive into a single issue for the entire half hour. Today, it's the Democratic Party and its relationship with the Black church. In the 2020 primaries, Joe Biden came in 4th place in Iowa, then 5th place in New Hampshire. The Biden candidacy for the Democratic nomination was all but doomed, until Black voters in South Carolina turned the race inside out.
South Carolinians should be voting for Joe Biden, and here's why. I know Joe. We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.
And with that, Black voters turned out in large numbers for Joe Biden, giving him a nearly 30-point win in South Carolina over Bernie Sanders and proving once again the power of the Democratic Party's most loyal constituency. That power has existed since 1966, when Blacks across the country lined up as never before to cast their ballots in the first federal election after the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 19.
And in the 1960s, this devil did a lot of witchcraft on Jake. As you can see that picture, of our people, being able to vote, which voting never really mattered for any American. Okay, but you Jakes for damn sure don't have a say so in how this government is ran. Okay, but they gave you the illusion of inclusion during the 60s, with the whole Martin Luther King thing, civil rights, different bills, passed through the House of Civil Rights. And the worst thing, we could have did as a nation was to integrate, all right, amongst these heathens. Because once Jake, was able to enjoy, particular privileges, of these Edomites, okay, that's when you see Jake really become Romanized, man. When they got to partake in different careers and, go to same restaurants and, partake in different, social cultures amongst these Edomites. That's when you see Jake, really start to be Romanized. Okay. But this started, in the 60s because you had the feminist movement. Then you had, the integration, from the civil rights movement. Okay. And then you had like a revolution, during the 70s, where Jake was getting the froze and, kind of going back to their natural state, okay, calling each other brothers. And then what happened after that? The crack, okay, which there was a chemical warfare, man. All right. And in the midst of this, the Black church has always fought to keep you integrated with a society that does nothing for you, man. If a brother can put Isaiah 9, 16, and 17 and Isaiah 5 and 13, I'm gonna let it play.
(1965). That bill was something the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. pushed over several presidential administrations to get passed during that long fight for civil rights. Since then, politically active black pastors have consistently wielded the power of their communities at the ballot box by getting souls to the polls, crowning winners with endorsements, and sometimes running for office themselves. But is their power waning in a party that's considered more secular and more elite? And can Democrats win if pastors can't continue to get out the vote at levels that they once did? NBC News Now's Joshua Johnson takes a deeper look.
Keeping voters fired up is not easy while trying to keep yourself warm. It's a cold, rainy day in Milwaukee. Volunteers are knocking on doors, talking to potential voters. They're with the faith-based group Power to the Polls. It's one of many efforts black churches are making to keep people engaged for the midterms. And it seems they have their work cut out for them.
They really just don't trust a system that has disregarded what they feel for centuries.
The Reverend Greg Lewis is executive director of Power to the Polls. He's also assistant pastor at Milwaukee's St. Gabriel's Church of God in Christ. Reverend Lewis says black voters in town can be highly disconnected, even in the recent mayoral election with a black candidate on the ballot.
They asked 25,000 people, do you know there's a mayoral election in your city on April 5th? And 92% didn't know.
92%.
Yes.
That has to be really disheartening for you.
It is.
Particularly as somebody who is in the streets trying to get them to pay attention.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, we have a black county executive in office. We have a black mayor. We have a black treasurer. We have a black city attorney. Most of our common council is black. The opportunity to really grow and develop is here. You know, disheartening is not the word, it's heartbreaking.
Different black ministers are responding differently to this heartbreak. But all the preachers we spoke to said they're acting out of what they believe the Bible would have them do.
If you read the Bible, there's politics in the Bible.
The Reverend Al Sharpton leads the National Action Network, a social justice ministry connecting people of faith to activism.
David was king. That's a political office. Joseph was governor. That's a political office. So where do we get this thing that you cannot be in the spirit of God and in politics?
In Brooklyn, New York, Bishop Leah Daughtry stays active with the Democratic Party nationally. She ran two of its recent conventions, Denver and Philadelphia. The bishop leads the House of
And that's how, you know, that's how Jake do, man. You see, Jake will throw you different references out there as if that has something to do, okay, with this system. You know, David was a king. That's a political office. Joseph was a governor. That's a political office. But what did King David and Joseph both do? Okay, were they not obedient, all right, to the commandments? Okay. And you're going to notice that there's no precepts coming out. This whole time, you're not going to hear any precepts. You're just going to hear emotions, opinions, and how people feel. Okay? Real quick, can a brother get Psalms 119, 104, and 105? Okay? Joseph went to prison for not committing adultery with the Pharaoh's wife, which is what? A law. Adultery is a law. So you mentioned Joseph and David, but they were both Israelites, you see, and they were obedient. That's where the favor came from, the obedience. Well, Jake never put that together. Jake never put being obedient to the scriptures, okay, in favor. Jake will be disobedient or try to find some other way to get some type of favor. 119 and yep, this one good too. 119 and 104. Salaki. But this one good one too, bro. It's Psalms. All right. Both of these are good as well. You know, it's a spirit. But yeah, Psalms 119 and 104 and 105. Salaki. All right, this is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Okay. Verse 5. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Okay, is this push in the black church. Okay, obedience to the scriptures. Okay, talking about souls to the polls. Okay, that's not in the scripture. Like the brother put this up. Let me find, the brother incorruptible crown. Because it's in our law. We ain't supposed to be doing this, man. It says this is brother incorruptible crown, Deuteronomy 17 and 15. It said, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy power shall choose. All right. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, thy power shall choose. And that's why David, he didn't want to kill Saul, because he knew he was chosen by the Most High. That's the he would call Saul the Most High's anointed. He was chosen by the Most High. So David was like, look, I can't touch. This is the Most High chosen. I can't touch this man. Okay. It says, one from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. And Jacob set anybody over them except Yahweh Shai. Okay? Jacob put anybody over them except Yahweh Shai, man. All right? Now, this the brother incorruptible crown. This is Psalms 119 and 104. It says, through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. And we learn to hate this society through precepts, man. Men breaking the Bible down, going through precepts. This is what has made us to hate every false way of this society, man. Through precepts coming out, lessons, coming out. Using what? Precepts. Okay? And you're going to notice in this whole little clip, there's no precepts coming out, just emotions. And you got Eve coming up next. And listen to what Eve finna say, showing you that Eve is linked in to the dark side, man. Okay? This Psalms 119 and 105, it says, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Okay? Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Man, this is how we know not to go in the way of no damn Democratic Party, man. Okay? Because the light is shining, all right, on darkness, and we can see the darkness of this, man. Okay? Let's play some more.
The Lord Churches, a Pentecostal network of churches with an Afrocentric focus. She says the party can supplement her religious advocacy, but not replace it.
The Democratic Party is a tool. It's a means toward an end. It is not church. It's not designed to be church. They've got their objectives, and I have mine as a faith leader. Sometimes they intersect. Sometimes we're striving for the same things. Sometimes we're not. And so when I size it up, I say the Democratic Party better reflects, not perfectly, but better reflects my values as a Christian than the other party does.
The minister.
Did y'all hear that? She said the Democratic Party better reflects her values as a Christian than the other party. The Democratic Party better represents her values as a Christian than the other party. Jake is gone, man. You see? Jake is gone. Freaky Deaky himself, who said that a transition woman is made in the image of God. Okay? The same society, the same party, going back to Obama, that legalized the alphabet marriages. Okay? And then Joe came right behind them. The first week in office, and signed off on children being able to transition. Okay? She said let's play it again. She said the Democratic Party better reflects her Christian values, man. Showing you that Christian values are nothing but Satanism, man. You see? If a brother can put Psalms 97 and 10. All right. Now this is the brother Kazak Bun Yahweh, Proverbs 14 and 12. There's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death, man. Because to your emotions, Christianity seems, good, help the people, love everything, accept everything, be nice, and open doors to everybody. It's like this is the way. Okay, but look at what it's linked up to, man. The the freaky deaky Democratic Party, man. Then you got Kamala, okay, drunk ass Kamala, all right, Harris. Well, what has she done for you for you black women, man? So-called black women, okay? It's from the brother. All right, Azarah Yahweh, it's Psalm 97 and 10. It said, Ye that love the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, hate evil. He preserved the souls of his saints, and he delivered them out of the hand of the wicked. You see? Ye that love the Lord, Yahweh hate evil. But Jake is telling you to link up with the evil. Jake is telling you to link up with the evil, man. And see, it says he delivered them out of the hands of the wicked because, hey, this is nothing but a control. Christianity is nothing but a control mechanism of the elites, man. Okay, that keeps you in this dumbed down, okay, compliance to wickedness mindset, man. Okay, well, let's go back to it, man.
The Democratic Party is a tool. It's a means toward an end. It is not church. It's not designed to be church. They've got their objectives, and I have mine as a faith leader. Sometimes they intersect. Sometimes we're striving for the same things. Sometimes we're not. And so when I size it up, I say the Democratic Party better reflects, not perfectly, but better reflects my values as a Christian than the other party does.
The ministers we spoke to all said their allegiance is to God first. Whoever's politics align with their theology gets their support. And today, those politicians are mostly Democrats. But alignment is not enough. Actions speak much louder, or inactions.
Where do you think the Democratic Party is failing its constituents right now? Any places in particular where you think it's really falling short?
Rural Black folk very rarely hear from the Democratic Party. I think there are forgotten places where I wish we could do more to address poverty, to address systemic exclusion.
The Reverend William Barber II is co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival. He says the church must speak to how political decisions affect the poor, just as Jesus did.
Whether you're Republican or Democrat, you stand against people having health care. That is a form of injustice and sin. If you are, in fact, Republican or Democrat, and you block living wages while you allow the wealthy to have pornographic sums of money and continue to prosper in their wealth while other folks flounder in their poverty, that is, in fact, sinful. And the role of the church is not to be Democrat or Republican, but to be prophetic.
Reverend Barber says President Biden should persevere on issues of poverty and basic human.
He said the role of the church is not to be Democratic or Republican, but prophetic. So where is prophecy? Why are we not speaking? Why are we even talking about Democrat and Republic if the role of the church is to be prophetic? Because according to Scripture, okay, America gonna be turned to a desert. You see? Let's get that in. Let's get Joel 3 and let's get Joel 3. And we're gonna get those other scriptures as well. Brothers lighten it up. Let's get Joel 3. Let's get prophecy, man. Okay. If the church is supposed to be prophetic, why in the hell are we even is y'all having an interview speaking about the Democratic Party, man? Okay. Let's get Joel 3 and 19. Okay. 3 and 19. And as the brother put Jeremiah, the weeping prophet 144, Hosea 4 and 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. Yeah, because this same pastor come to the camp, all right, and they have a hour back and forth, about God loving everybody, Jesus don't forget the so-called white man, and love, and he try to push, all that madness on us, But when Biden hit the scene, niggas getting in line, nigga comb their hair back. And then I'm looking, Al Sharpton and Biden got the same hairstyle, man. They look hang time at the back, that slick back. I meant to pause that picture earlier. I'm looking at these niggas got the same style, man. And this is the niggas, and this is you niggas leaders leading into the worst time ever, man. And it says my people. I might go back and find the picture, man. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. It said my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee. All right. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law, all right, of thy power, man. Okay. Now let's deal with the prophecy, man. Because our people have zero knowledge of the scriptures, but they operate in the doctrine of emotions and pretty much all over the place, man. Emotions and confusion. Now this is brother Yashima tribe of Judah, Joel 3 and 19 said, Egypt shall be a desolation, Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. So this spiritual Egypt, okay, you can't go to a Christian and talk about spiritual Egypt, which is America. This will go over their head. But then he just said the church is supposed to be prophetic. Well, according to prophecy, all right, this spiritual Egypt will be a desolation. You see, it's not going to matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat when it's famine. Okay? It's not going to matter when it's chaotic and violence. Being a Republican Democrat ain't going to matter. When those missiles get sent here, that's not going to matter. This place is going to be a desolation. Okay, so why is there so much emphasis in the black church about a political party, man? When prophecies say this place gonna be a desolation and a desolate wilderness, and then it tells you why. The same reason you people march for, well, the Most High is gonna destroy this place, man. Based off of that, man. Okay, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. That's why the gospel is such comforting, man, because it tells us what's going to happen and why, man. Okay, so let's hear a few more minutes of these clowns. All right, the clown show. These washed up Jakes.
Needs. There are many ways to do that, including through big business. Since 2012, the Barclays Center has been the home of the Brooklyn Nets. That arena serves more than NBA fans. It also serves the community thanks to a unique partnership. The Reverend Herbert Daughtry helped organize that partnership. His activism began back in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement. He is also Bishop Leah Daughtry's father. Reverend Daughtry says his neighborhood alliance, just a few blocks from the arena, secured community benefits from the Barclays Center. They range from dedicated upper bowl seats for local groups to support for a community health center.
There's a level of sophistication to that I don't think Black folks are ever associated with,
Right.
especially with something that is both business related and political.
Right.
Are maybe the political aspirations in terms of how the Democratic Party and Black churches interface, are they too small? Are they thinking too small?
I don't think so. I took the position you do not absolutize your strategy on your way to liberation. You have to use this, you have to use that.
The Barclays Center deal speaks to something all the preachers we spoke to brought up. In their views, people need to see the concrete results of political decisions, things they can point to that motivate them to vote. Reverend Daughtry says the people he talks to are also motivated by something else, their fear over today's increasingly extreme politics.
You see this hat? Okay, I'm looking at it, got Jackson, then the way he put it on, then you see the flag, like what, Jake is linked in, man. Jake has made a covenant to death, man. Okay. I know it's not first watching, like, why are they filming him putting the hat on? Then he turned to the side, and then you see, his darkness. You can see his face, that brim covered the light. Okay. Well, his face is darkness now, man. Okay. Our people are linked into some heavy wickedness, man. That Esau, he throws these niggas in your face. He shoves them down your throat as these great men. Okay. And they're into some hell of a darkness, man. Okay. They into some hell of a darkness, man. All right. Let me start getting some of these. I think, brother, what's that? St. John 3 and is it 18? Yeah, let's get St. John 3. Yeah, let's get St. John chapter 3, verses 19 through 21. All right. Let me go up here and get some of these. All right, now this the brother occupy till I come. Isaiah 9 and 16 said, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Okay, there's going to be a lot of Black Christians, okay, reserved for nuclear destruction. All right, and it's going to be unprotected during this time of Jacob trouble, because Christianity had did nothing but brought you further into the dark side, man. Okay, and then linking it with democracy, all right, has really separated you from your power. Okay, it says, verse 19, the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall he have mercy on their fatherless and widows. Okay, for everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer. You see, everyone is a hypocrite. Everybody, they in these big old churches, got the robes on, and the Bible's everywhere. Okay, but these people are hypocrites and evildoers, man. And every mouth speak of folly. Yeah, the Democratic Party is folly, man. Why is this a discussion? We should be praying to Yahweh Shema Shai to destroy this whole system, man. Okay, if you're not talking about rulership and righteousness under Yahweh Shai, when he returns, what are you talking about? Okay, it said, for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. That's why he still has the prophets out, pushing his word, man. Okay, that's the Lord's hand stretched out for mercy, which is pulling You know, the elect out of darkness, man. Okay? Yep. It's your brother Bayon. It's brother Bayon Yashala. All right. John 3:19 said, "This is the condemnation that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil." Okay? And their light is Yahweh Shai. But see, Jake loved darkness, man. And this picture speaks a lot, man. Okay? I don't know what the Jackson, you know, we know that the devil, Andrew Jackson, you know, the goddamn devil. Okay? But you see the alphabet flag and Jake is blocking the light, man. Okay, the way he putting that hat on, these Jakes, they sit there and play that innocent role. Jake is linked into some heavy wickedness, man. And Jake wants to block that light of Yahushua, man. Okay? Because men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. That's why people fight against the standard of the scriptures because their deeds are evil. The scriptures call things out. Okay? That's why they would rather teach you about the Democratic Party than teach you about the standard of the scriptures, man. You know? Let me play a little more.
Ticks.
I think there is a deep, deep feeling among white Americans that they have taken our country and we have nothing to lose. And therefore, whatever we do is going to be all right. I think we saw January the 6th in Washington some of this sentiment, some of this feeling that they feel they have nothing to lose. I'm not sure how many white politicians grasp the danger that is out there.
Those concerns may speak to a larger issue that came up in all our conversations, the feeling of being taken for granted. But when churches mobilize, they can reshape elections. But it's not easy to get voters fired up, especially without a big race on the ballot. Reverend Lewis says, those concerns may speak to a larger issue that came up in all our conversations, the feeling of being taken for granted. But when churches mobilize, they can reshape elections. But it's not easy to get voters fired up.
And look at this nigga haircut, man. Okay? And Jake know he too old to have that haircut, man. Well, Jake got some hell of a leaders, boy, going into Jacob's trouble. Jake got a hell of a lineup, you know, of leaders, man.
Especially without a big race on the ballot. Reverend Lewis says his own fire goes out often.
I quit every day, man. And like you know, like you understand, you know, how frustrating it can be. You can't even imagine because, you know, you said something, you know, man, I'm not responsible for you. But see, that's why it hurts me so much because I know that
You feel that responsibility. What is that responsibility? Can you elaborate on that?
See, I know these people, and that's why I don't give up, because I can see it. I know one of these days, wow, things are going to be different. I know it. So if I stop now, the blessing God has for us, for me, will be lost. So I can't stop.
Black churches are chasing that blessing as they see it in many ways. So how should Democrats who want their votes chase after them? Reverend Al Sharpton says all politicians need to be real with Black voters and say what they really believe, not just what they think voters want to hear.
One of the reasons I had a great working relationship with Barack Obama is from day one. He said, I'm not going to do everything you want me to do, and I'm not going to say everything you want me to say. But I agree with you on these basic things. We're going to disagree with that. And that's
why you liked him?
That's why I liked him. Because I said, I can at least trust what this guy says.
When it comes to winning elections, Bishop Leah Daughtry says Democrats need to articulate their accomplishments so voters can remember them.
Look, Joe Biden has created more jobs in his 1.5 years as president than the last 4 Republican presidents combined. How do you tell people that? People know that they're working. So how do you make that a win? How do you make the new roads and the new bridges? How do you make healthcare, all the things? How do you make cutting child poverty in half a win and let that relate to people's lives every single day?
Eve said that Joe Biden has created more jobs in his 1.5 years than the last few Republican presidents combined. And this is what Esau do. He pulled numbers out his ass, give it to, the people he want to regurgitate it. And this is what they do. Now, how in the hell could this man create more jobs when it was a lockdown? And jobs, everybody didn't survive the lockdown. There's things that went out of business. And even when things open back up, the number one thing employers are having to deal with is people not wanting to go back to work. There's certain spots that we went to after, the lockdown that they were struggling to meet customer demands because of lack of employees. Everybody's hiring, man. This man, is you serious, man? But this is the illusion, okay, that our people are in. If a brother can post that in 2 Thessalonians, let's get 2 Thessalonians, let's go 8 through 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 8 through 12. Jake is in a strong delusion, man. These people can tell Jake any goddamn thing. Jake believe it, man. Where the hell have you been? Do you understand the devastation this man had did to the economy? Okay. To jobs, to businesses.
So that they feel compelled to see that kind of progress continue and to do their part to make it continue.
As for what to work on next, Reverend William Barber suggests a more holistic approach. Voting rights get a lot of attention, but he says it should be part of an overarching push for social justice.
That's one thing I've learned clearly. You must have a moral fusion approach. You never just allow your position to just be just one thing, like what one thing needs to be changed. You have to show the interlocking injustices and evil require an intersectional response. And as an African-American clergy, you must build fusion alliances.
And as heartbreaking as his activism can be, Reverend Lewis says some things do keep voters plugged in.
You're not going to have elections every year. So there's something else that you need to be generating some energy about in these off-election years. And that's what we've chosen, the housing.
Perhaps it's an issue with the House's power to the polls visits. Stephanie Johnson is the group's field coordinator. Knocking on doors can feel uncertain, even awkward, but she says it's worth it.
I am vested in Milwaukee. I've had some tragedies happen here, and I'm vested in making this a better city for us, us of color, because we've been overlooked for too long.
The rain made for a short day of canvassing. They plan to keep at it ahead of the midterms, doing what they feel called to do. Reverend Herbert Daughtry says his 91 years on this earth have given him plenty to worry about, but not enough to dim his hope. It is one of the promises of the New Testament, a harvest at the proper time for those who do not give up.
This is our legacy. This is what has been bequeathed to us. This is what I teach my children. And as you can probably see from is that we are going to win. You are going to be successful. God has programmed you for success. Don't you program yourself for failure.
Recent polling indicates that over the last 15 years, there's been a 21-point jump from 9 to 30% of the number of Democrats who consider themselves religiously unaffiliated. So what does that mean for the party with regards to black voters? Because we can see in a 2020 poll that among religiously affiliated black Americans, 63% are Democrats. But among religiously unaffiliated black Americans, they're far less attached to the party. In fact, nearly half of them, 46% of the unaffiliated, say they're independent. So joining us now to discuss this shift and what it means for Democratic turnout and vote support, it's DNC Chairman Jamie Harrison. Chairman Harrison, it's good to see you, sir.
It's always great seeing you, Chuck.
I'm gonna get you to react to a lead from our friends at 538, and it's the framing for our conversation. The 2022 midterms are approaching, and black voters must choose between the Republican Party, which has actively worked against their interests for decades, and the Democratic Party, which has long struggled to meaningfully address race and racism, as well as other issues important to black voters. That is the conundrum. How do you keep black voters excited about the Democratic Party that many think haven't delivered for them yet?
Well, listen, Chuck, I think in the end of the day in November, we're going to see historic turnout in the black community because they understand that this election is about a choice. It's a choice between a party that is built on fraud and fear and fascism, that is banning books written by black authors, that are suppressing the votes of black voters, that is trying to fight against efforts to bring down the cost that could have impacts on black communities. And you have a party that has just, or we're in the process of, putting the first African-American woman on the Supreme Court, a party that worked hard to bring down child poverty and cut it in half and had a disproportionate impact on the black community. And so you have a party that actually gives a damn about black communities and is working hard in order to make the lives of the folks in those communities better each and every day. And so it's about going out, making that case and letting that be known. And I believe that we can do that. Why do you think we've seen an increase in Republican support among black Americans? Well, listen, I think it's the increase is probably slight, and it all depends on what part of the country you're talking about. The black community is not a monolith. It is also very diverse. And, Democrats have to understand this, that you can't take the black vote for granted. You got to make sure that you fight for it just like you fight for any other vote. And so I think part of what that means is we got to roll up our sleeves a lot more, go into these communities, don't take people for granted, talk about the issues that are important to them and their families and their communities. I believe if we can do that, we will continue to enjoy strong support from the African American. Let's talk about the importance of the black church when it comes to the Democratic Party. And I say this because many religious affiliated blacks are not comfortable with abortion, are pro-life. Are you at all concerned that this becomes a bit of a wedge inside the black church at all? I'm not concerned at all, Chuck. The Democratic Party has been on the side of choice for as long as I can remember in politics, and we've enjoyed African-American support just as long. And support from folks and the religious leaders of the black church as well. Because in the end of the day, what this is about is freedom and liberty. Freedom and liberty. And if anybody in this country understands how hard the fight is for freedom and liberty, black folks understand that. And so what we see coming from this Republican Party is a chipping away at all of these rights, not just the freedom of a woman to control her own body, but the freedom to choose who you want to represent you, the ability to have a speech and talk about your experience and not have it be banned. We see that the Republican Party is chipping away at the liberties and freedoms of the American people. Black folks fought too hard and long in order to get our freedoms. We're not going back.
When you look at the Black church, like every religious institution, it's getting older, and they're having a hard time getting younger folks. And that's going to complicate the Democratic Party's targeting. It's not just looking to the Black pastors to get the Black vote out, but you've got younger African Americans who don't necessarily aren't as religiously affiliated as many. We're seeing this secularization in general of the Democratic Party. Are you at all worried about, I know you're a man of faith, but this is a party that is less and less attached to religion.
Yeah, I think it's important that we go to where people are. If people are in church, let's make sure that we are talking to them about our values in a way that we can in that setting. But if they're not going to church, it's still important for us to go to where they are in the mediums in which they get their information and how they communicate and talk to folks. Because in the end of the day, even though somebody may not be going to church, that does not mean that they are valueless. There's still values that are core to who they are and how they live their lives and how they're raising their kids. And so the Democratic Party has to continue, whether it's in the religious frame or the non-religious frame, continue to speak to the values of African Americans in the spaces in which they are.
You think the party's fought hard enough for voting rights this year? Do you think it looked like to many Black Americans that the party in general has fought hard enough for voting rights?
I mean, the roadblock that we've run into, it's not the lack of trying. And it's not, I don't even think it's a lack of whether or not we're fighting hard enough. It's the lack of having the votes in order to get it done in the United States Senate. We just don't have 50 votes that will allow a tie for Vice President Harris to break that tie in order to move forward with some waiver of the filibuster. I mean, we know, Chuck, you and I have both been doing DC politics for a long time, that if you don't have 60 votes in the Senate, it's very hard to get anything through that body.
Jamie Harrison, the chairman of the DNC, big job on his hands. We'll be checking in with you quite a bit. Thank
you. And as you can see, all right, the Black church is pretty much a tool to keep, you know, the masses of Jake in their sunken place, man. Okay. It's nothing but an extension of Esau's witchcraft to keep, you know, the masses of Jake in their sunken place, man. Now, when you go to 2 Thessalonians 2:8, it's the brother Yashima tribe of Judah. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. See, now we're in the time where the wicked is being revealed. Okay. And if you don't understand the wickedness of this so-called government, all right, that's going to be on you, man, because it's nothing but information out there, man. You got YouTube flooded to the point where they had to start heavy censorship. Okay, you have all these alternative sites, TikTok, all these things going out exposing this place and the wickedness. Okay, this man has been revealed. Okay, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, beginning with the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Man, we're talking about the complete and utter destruction of this whole system, man. Okay, not no damn voting for a change and talking to people about issues that matter to us. No. Okay, we plead to a higher court that's above, okay, this society, man. I believe that's in Ecclesiastes. Get a couple more before we close out. Ecclesiastes 5. Let's get Ecclesiastes. Let's get Ecclesiastes 5 and 8. All right, let's keep reading on 2 Thessalonians. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders, man. This man coming is after Satan. Okay. Here it is. You're supposed to be this Bible believer, you know, but you're linking yourself to you know, to a people whose coming is after Satan. And the Democratic Party is the most satanic party of the two. Because even with the Republican, they have some conservative views, but the Democrats, they're with abortion. They're with the alphabet people. Okay? They're with taking away your liberties. They're with the lockdowns. Okay? Their coming is after the working of Satan, man. And these are nothing but minions of the elites. Okay? The witches and warlocks of the earth. Verse 10, it says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Yeah, and our people are deceived. Heavily deceived, man. All right? Because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. Because Jake hate the truth. You know, Jake don't want to hear about the standard of what you can eat and can't eat. Not getting lined up, women being in subjection to men. Jake don't want to hear that. Okay, they are rather work in deception. Like I said, they love darkness rather than light. Okay, and that's going to prevent salvation. It says, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, you got Jake really believing that the Democrat Party is just fighting tooth and nail to make their life better, man. Okay, and all these other madness that they believe in, but mainly, you know, this whole Democratic, okay, philosophy that the Democrats, you know, are just hell bent on making Jake's situation better, man. That's a strong delusion. Okay, and Christianity is fighting to keep you linked to that strong delusion, man. Okay, and that's why vocab is so heavy on that Christianity, because it keeps the delusion going. Okay, verse 12, it said that they all might be damned, okay, a judge who believed not the truth but had pleasure in unrighteousness, man. Okay, and these pastors that are paid off and live these luxurious, you know, lifestyles, all right, to keep you linked into madness. Okay, they love those lifestyles, man. You know, and in the whole thing, there's no precepts coming up. There's no talk of prophecy. All about the Democrat Party and black people moving forward, man. Okay, this is Lamentations 4:17, and brother Bayan Yasha, as for us, our eyes are yet filled for our vain help. Okay, in our watching, we watch for a nation that could not save us. Okay, Jake is banking on vain help, man. We coming into the worst times ever, and Jake has his faith in the Democrat Party and the Black Christian Church, man. Okay, there's telling you Esau is going to save you. That's a nation that has no intention on saving you, and he doesn't have the power to do so. There's only one name given under heaven whereby we must be saved, and that's Yahweh Shai. You know, we're going to the word name, all right? And one of the definitions is what? Authority or rank. There's only one person that has the rank and authority to deliver, all right, our people, man, and that's Yahweh Shai. All right, Lamentation 4:18 says, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Okay? And Yahweh Shema Shai about to wrap this thing up, man. Okay? All these games and, you know, politics and black Christians and, you know, all this is the Most High just finna bring a abrupt stop, okay, to this madness, man. Okay. Yeah, we can end. Brother posted Ecclesiastes 5:8. Ecclesiastes 5:8. All right. Mr. Brother Subway, Hawashai, Isaiah 36:6. It says, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed. Okay, this system is broken. All right, how about Shema Shai scripting this thing down? He has the elites doing it to themselves because they're trying to break this current system so they can roll out a new one. Okay? But it's not going to come to pass. It says, Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. And we know what that's going to be, because if you trust in this system and you look forward to trying to forge yourself in this system, eventually, hey, he's going to get, you're going to have to allow this man to get into your hand and put that device in there, man. Okay? And it says, so is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him, man. And Jake had a strong trust, okay, for this American system, man. All right? But we don't plead to, okay, Esau, Edom for some type of relief. We know where our redemption gonna come from. Okay? There's your brother beyond Yasha, Ecclesiastes 5 and 8. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. And see, our people, they're marveling at the matter. You got people that are still in awe that they shooting Jake down, or there's still systemic racism, okay, that exists, okay, that they're dropping off guns and drugs. You still have our people that marvel at that. Esau Edom is doing what he's designed to do, man, to be our oppressor. Okay? But we don't marvel at the matter. All right? Why? Because it says, for he that is higher than the highest. See, our people mind stop at Esau. They don't look at nothing above this man. Okay? This is where our people minds start and stop it. That's why they run to him for some type of relief. Okay, his voting system, his you know, his political system, his economy. Okay, it said, for he that is higher than the highest regard, and that's the Most High. Okay, and there be higher than they. So we appealing to the true highest, man, and that's the Most High. All right. So there was a point, you know, it was a lot, you know, more we could have went into, but and the point was made, you know, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful late. Shalom.